shit on the shelf. Cause the way the real wealth is being real with self. Might not have to see the glory of the coming of the left. I can't do it by myself, so I'm asking for help. It's time to switch it up, put the hip shit on the shelf. Cause the way the real wealth is being real with self. Might not have to see the glory of the coming of the left. I can't do it by myself, so I'm asking for help. Money. All you got is not wrong with being wealthy. Like Kanye West says, having money is not everything, not having it is. No, Deuteronomy 8:18 says God gives us the ability to create wealth. No, it's the love of money that's the world. You don't like money so much, why you have to go to work? Yes, I do think about one of the things that my things I'm just trying to leave a legacy for money. It's not everything, but when you got it, you can do some cool stuff. And now, your host for Talking Money in the Morning, financial health mentor to the working class, Mr. H Cortez.
Good morning, Black world, and welcome to Talking Money in the Morning Live with your main man, H Cortez, the one and only financial health mentor to the Black community, everybody's favorite fatherpreneur, where I do my absolute best to bring practical yet proven wealth building strategies to working men and women all over this great country of ours. It's truly an honor, privilege, and a blessing to be coming to you live and direct from the Thornton Online Marketing Studios this morning here in St. Louis, Missouri. If you guys have not already registered for tomorrow's free webinar, then I want you to get yourself registered, right? I know there were some problems with the link, but if you just go ahead and register and check your email, I think the confirmation email is coming, even though it seems like it's rendering forever, especially when you do it on a smartphone. On a laptop or a computer, it's good. I'm literally going to take you behind the scenes and what I do and what I have done over the last 2.5 years to explode my brand. Some of you guys don't know that my brand is based on a network marketing company. I'm going to show you how I personally recruited over 150, 200 people in my network marketing company. I'm going to show you how I got my fan page up to over 30,000 fans. I think we're at 35,000 or something like that. How to expand your reach, how to get your set up some free tools that can work for you 24/7 to help you grow and explode your brand. You want to get yourself registered for that webinar, go to freewebinar.financialhealthmentor.com. I put the link in the description if someone wants to put it in the chat as well. It's freewebinar.financialhealthmentor.com. I usually just train my team on how I'm having this success, but I've decided that I'm going to go ahead and open it up to whoever is interested. If you are a network marketer, if you are a personal coach, if you're a solopreneur of any kind, affiliate marketing, trying to get online marketing down, and maybe you're drop shipping products, maybe you have a book that you're trying to get out there, this is the webinar for you. I'm going to lay it out for you on how you can really explode your brand. So get yourself registered for that. 3 different time slots tomorrow that you can choose from. I try to make it convenient so that everybody could attend it live. So get yourself registered for that. Do me a huge favor. If you're checking this out on Periscope, go ahead and invite your followers to come take a listen. Click on the little man in the corner so that you can actually subscribe to the feed so you get notices when I go live on Periscope. Usually I just do the morning show on Periscope, but I might start going live on Periscope throughout the day as well. And if you're checking this out on YouTube, if you have not already subscribed to the channel, hit the subscribe button so you can subscribe. I do put up other content on YouTube all the time, so you'll get notifications when you subscribe. And then copy the link to today's show and share it on your favorite social media timeline, whether it's LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, wherever you like to share stuff. Share that as well. And then you guys on Facebook, go ahead and share the stream now. And then really the likes and the hearts, I do take pleasure in that, but really I need this. She says she has no sound on her end. Is everybody else getting sound? Sound coming through? Okay. I'm not sure why you don't have sound. But the reason that the hearts and the thumbs up and the likes and all that stuff are important is because it tells Facebook that we have valuable content, and Facebook will push it out to more and more people when we go live, right? So do the likes, thumbs up, kind of the more engagement that the show has, the more people Facebook will roll it out to. Yes, sound is good. Okay, I'm not sure what's going on, Tawana. Maybe you can refresh and see if you can get sound, because today is going to be a good one. You want sound for this one. So I appreciate you guys sharing. And then also remind me mid-show for those who come on a little bit later to have them share the show as well. And for those of you who have never seen the show, I'd like to let you know exactly who the show is for. This show is for risers and grinders only, man. You got to be ready to get up, get out, and get something. If that's you, this is your show. This show is for my legacy builders. If you are trying to create a different legacy, if you're like me and the cycle of whatever is going to end with you, like me, the cycle of poverty ends with me, right? The cycle of lack ends with me. The cycle of consumerism ends with me. I'm going to be, my family is going to be known as we won't miss you. And like I tell you each and every morning, I don't have a problem with you not wanting to be wealthy. I only have a problem with you when you have a problem with me wanting to be wealthy. See, I'm a billionaire by 2027. And I've already met the H Cortez of 2027. When you guys meet him, I think you're going to believe, like I believe, that he's a cool dude, right? I think you're going to be proud to know the H Cortez billionaire of 2027. I've already introduced myself to that cat. He's a smooth dude, right? He has got compassion and heart for the people. Man, y'all gonna like that dude, right? So if that's not you, you got a problem with me even saying I'm a future billionaire, then exit stage left and we won't miss you. All right, so really quickly, one last announcement, we'll get right into the show. If you are interested in building a business with us, right? My financial education franchise, I can get you started for just $10. $10, you have your own financial education franchise. Our franchise is focused on teaching the Black community 5 core wealth building principles. Number 1, entrepreneurship. Number 2, tax minimization. Number 3, debt elimination. Number 4, credit education. And number 5, asset accumulation. We need all of these like yesterday in our community. And unfortunately, nobody's willing to teach us. So I've taken on that mission. Well, actually, the mission has been assigned to me and I have accepted. Right? So if you want to improve yourself in those 5 areas, you want to become an entrepreneur or become a better entrepreneur, we can help. If you want to understand how entrepreneurship affects your taxes so you can minimize your taxes like wealthy people, we can help. If you want to understand how to take the resources that you get when you minimize your taxes and eliminate your debt, get on the right side of interest, we can help. If you want to understand how credit is critically important and how to get good credit, how to keep good credit, and how to leverage credit to build wealth, yes, cash is still king in America, but credit rules the kingdom. We can help. If you want to understand how to accumulate assets so that you can have something to pass down to your children, then we can help. We can get you started for just $10. Then it's $35 per month to maintain your membership. And we give you all the coaching, the tools, the resources, everything that you need to get that done in your life. But it is a franchise. So that means you can start making money by teaching others these strategies. And I'll show you everything that I know on how to do just that. Now Facebook wants to trip with me, man. We're going to get through this thing today, y'all. Come on back, Facebook. Come on back. Come on back, Facebook. So let's get right into it, man. Today's show is about how to become a Proverbs 31 woman to attract an Ephesians 5 man. If you missed yesterday's show, we did how to become an Ephesians 5 man so you can attract a Proverbs 31 woman. Well, today it's all about how the woman, if you're not a Proverbs 31 woman, how you can become one so that you can attract an Ephesians 5 man. So together you can build that 1 Corinthians 13 love. I'm just trying to give Facebook a second to come back so I can at least tell them to jump over to Periscope if Facebook is going to keep bugging out on us, or they can jump over to YouTube as well. So what we're going to do today with today's show, just like we did yesterday, I'm going to list the attributes of the Proverbs 31 woman, and then I'm going to give you 3 keys to becoming that if you are not that already, or maybe that can help you continue on your journey to become that, so that we can help you already. And I don't know, I must have about 15 attributes listed of the Proverbs 21 or Proverbs 31 woman. So yeah, Facebook is just really bugging out on me. What if I move? That makes a difference in my signal. Change a little bit. No, really quickly, give me 1 second so I can go into the chat on Facebook and tell everybody to jump over to Periscope. All right. So, nope, I put it on the wrong thing. Give me 1 second. Let me let them know where we are. So, all right. So we're just gonna move right along, and maybe Facebook comes back. But I did just put a notice out there that they can go over to the YouTube channel to catch us, or they can go over to Periscope as well. So the first thing that you'll read when you start reading about the Proverbs 31 woman is that number 1, she's worth more than rubies, right? The Proverbs 31 woman is worth more than rubies. So that to me spoke instantly to some of the things that I see from our women, and that is that they don't know their value, right? They don't really know their value. And I can do a whole show on just this topic right here, man. The Proverbs 31 woman, the first attribute that it lists is that she's worth more than rubies, right? Literally, this could be a whole show, y'all. Because if women knew their value, if women knew that everything men do is to impress them and to gain their respect, they could leverage that power, that influence to literally get us, literally have us to do whatever it is that needs to be done to make this world a better place. right? A lot of times, because a woman has a low self-worth, she will allow the men in her life to get away with treating her like she's worth less. See how I did that? Worthless, worthless, right? A lot of times, because our women don't know their own worth, they will let the men in their lives get away with treating them like they're worthless. So the number one thing that the first thing that comes out when you start looking at what the Proverbs 31 woman is, Proverbs 31 woman is worth more than rubies, and she knows it, right? Worth more than rubies. So the Proverbs 31 woman is a self-confident woman. And let me say this to you ladies. Sometimes women will tone down their self-confidence because it's intimidating to the men in their lives. That's not an Ephesians 5 man that you have if your self-confidence is intimidating them. When you have an Ephesians 5 man in your life, they actually adore your self-confidence, right? They will actually affirm your self-confidence. So if you don't have an Ephesians 5 man in your life, and the person that's in your life is not affirming your self-confidence, and on the other hand is intimidated by your self-confidence, that's going to be a problem for you. That's going to be a problem for you. Let me finish this on Facebook and see if I can just reconnect and do a new stream. See if I can do a new stream real quick. So you have to literally understand that you are worth more than rubies. If you are self-confident and you know that you're worth more than rubies, and you're intimidating the men in your life, you might need to get around some different brothers, right? Point blank and period. And I will say this, on the other hand, it literally says that I have no Wi-Fi connection. Let me reset my phone. I will say this, some women know that they are intimidating the men in their lives, but they don't want to be around real men that will hold them accountable to becoming a full Proverbs 31 woman. And that's an issue for you, ladies, if that is you. If you only want to be around a man who is weak-spined and soft and will let you run all over them, that is a problem for you. And no sisters like that. And it's like, how do you have all this education? How are you this solid of a person, of a human, and you seem to attract all of these low lives into your life? You're not attracting them, you're picking them. Because in some strange way, you like to feel dominant. So you pick a certain type of brother that's not going to hold you accountable for who you really are. So that's a problem for you. But understand your worth is first and foremost. Number two, brings good and not harm. It says that she literally brings her husband good and not harm. When I think about bringing good and not harm, what I think about is the attitude, right? The attitude that she displays permanently is one of upbeatness, positivity, and to improve a situation, to lift up and not to tear down. So she brings good and not harm. It's number two. Number two, she brings good and not harm. Number three, she works with her hands. She works with her hands, right? And all of this is scriptural. I want you to go back to read Proverbs 31 for yourself. All of this is scriptural. She works with her hands, right? It says she's diligent with her hands. She works with her hands. And in other words, she doesn't mind helping get the bills paid, right? Now, she ain't paying all the bills, and she ain't letting you get away with not paying no bills, fellas. It is you are busting your butt to do everything that you can as an Ephesians 5 man to keep the house going, to provide, to protect, to do your God-given duties. And the Proverbs 31 woman don't mind pitching in. She doesn't mind pitching in at all. Not at all. She works with her hands. Number 4, it says that she all right, guys, I don't know. I'm going to have to choke the mess out of somebody over at Charter because this is just not fun for me at all. It's just not fun for me. I mean, really, it's just throwing me all off, man. I'm telling you. Every time we get ready to start spitting that fire, we get something crazy going on. But I'm going to reset Facebook. Looks like my phone is working now. I know they just want me to buy something, man. Oh, well, Mr. Springer, you need to beef up your signal. That's what it's going to take. If that's what it's going to take, y'all, we're going to make it happen. We're not going to fuss and we're not going to complain. We're just going to make it happen. All right. Let's see if we can get it to work now. Sorry, guys. I mean, when you're at the mercy of technology, you just kind of just go with the flow, right? You just got to kind of go with the flow. Yeah, it kind of throw me off a little bit now. Yeah, I have to get back into the flow. I apologize. We're not gonna let this stop the train, right? Now it's even doing something crazy. Anyway. So we're not going to let that stop the train. So Facebook, you guys were out for a minute, so we kind of went ahead and started the show. I'm just going to go back and recap the first couple. Number 1, the Proverbs 31 woman is more valuable than rubies. You have to know your worth if you're going to be a Proverbs 31 woman. Know your worth. Number 2, she brings good, not harm. Women, ladies, do you know how you can change the entire mood of a room with your attitude? I mean, you can literally turn a man's stomach with your attitude, right? So it says she brings good and not harm. I think that is speaking to the fact that she brings a good attitude when she shows up. When she appears, she just has a good attitude. Her spirit is one of upliftment. Her spirit is one of joy and happiness. She's not bringing the mood down. She's not bringing negative energy when she enters into a room, right? Number three, she works with her hands, right? It literally says she works with her hands. Go read Proverbs 31. She works with her hands. So in other words, she has a man who's an Ephesians 5 man who's doing his part, and she's not too good to chip in, right? To help him continue to make this thing right. Number four, she rises early. And right before YouTube started tripping with me, we talked about this book right here is a study of multimillionaires, thousands of them surveyed. And when it says she rises early, all wealthy people get up between 4:30 and 5:45 or something like that every day, getting their day started early. And understand something: if all life is time, and you start getting up a couple hours earlier, you literally add days and months and years to your life by getting up a little bit earlier. All life is time. So it literally says she rises early. Then it says she rises early and provides. Wait a minute. She works with her hands and but I want to go ahead and finish up if we can. So she's an entrepreneur, y'all. It didn't just say she's an entrepreneur one time. It didn't just say she had one entrepreneur endeavor. It talks about her buying land, and then she planted a vineyard in one place. In another place, it talked about her taking her goods and services to the marketplace. So wait a minute, she's a landowner, she's a farmer, she has a vineyard, and with a vineyard probably comes a bed and breakfast, so she's a property manager, and then she has other goods and services that she takes to the marketplace. The Proverbs 31 woman is an entrepreneur. And I can tell you, I know from just speaking to most women, and go ahead and share the show, y'all, if you guys haven't already shared it. Because we had trouble on the other connection. A lot of people are probably trying to watch that first piece that cut out on us. Go ahead and share the show. It's being an entrepreneur, ladies, is the same thing as you having that secret bank account, or that separate bank account that you have, that if something yeah, YouTube was tripping too, man. It was just but a lot of women will, even when they're married, they have their separate stash of cash just in case they're married to a guy like me who will literally invest all the money and we won't have dinner, right? You have that secret stash. Well, that's what entrepreneurship is like. I want you to think about entrepreneurship like that. You have something that you're doing on the side, a little hustle that you can always turn to make some money to help feed your family. You always have a little something that you can do on the side to turn to make some money. A Proverbs 31 woman is an entrepreneur. She's an entrepreneur. She understands how to leverage her intellect for income. You have to be entrepreneurially minded as a Proverbs 31 woman. So what we're doing is we're going through the attributes now. I got about 15 or 20 to get through, and then I'm going to give you 3 things that you can do to become this, right? I'm telling you first what the Proverbs 31 woman is, and then I'm going to give you 3 ways or 3 strategies or 3 steps that you can take to become this, right? So really quick, let me recap. Number 1, she knows her worth. It's the first thing it says when it starts talking about the Proverbs 31 is that she's worth more than rubies. Number 2, she brings good, not harm. That means she has a good attitude when she comes into a room. She lights up the room because her attitude is right. She don't come around folks with a stank attitude and bring people down, especially her husband. She has the right attitude that brings him up when he's in her presence. Number 2, she works with her hands. She's not above working with her hands and putting in a little hard work. Number 3, she rises early and provides for her family. Even as an entrepreneur, even as someone who has to work with their hands, she gets up and takes care of her household early and then gets out and about and handles her business. Number 5, she's an entrepreneur. She leverages her intellect to make money, to add resources to the lot of her family. Number 6, she is diligently and hardworking. You can't be a lazy chick and a Proverbs 31 chick. You cannot be a lazy chick and a Proverbs 31 chick. Don't work, right? It says she is diligent and hard working. Number 6. It literally says her arms are strong for her task. She's fit for her task. Number 7, she's fit for her task. That's an indication, ladies, of the woman that puts a serious emphasis on taking care of her body. It literally says, number 7, that her arms are fit for the task. That means she's taking care of her body. Because if you don't take care of your body, ladies, and you're doing all of the things that a Proverbs 31 woman does, and you neglect to take care of your body, it's just going to lead to a downward spiral that will cause your whole life to unravel. Because you can't do all the things that a woman is required to do and not be physically conditioned to do it. You can try, and I will tell you exactly what you're going to get. Heart disease, diabetes, adrenal fatigue, burnout, stress, physically, emotionally, psychologically, depression. You can try to do everything that a Proverbs 31 woman does. You can try to do all of that without taking care of your body, and that's what you're going to get. That's what you're going to end up with. I can guarantee you. You got to take care of your body, ladies. It literally says that her arms are fit for the task. That's a reference to being physically prepared to undertake everything that a Proverbs 31 woman is, right? And I know some Proverbs 31 women who are neglecting their bodies, and as a result, they're starting to unravel mentally. They're starting to unravel emotionally. Not because they can't do the things that they set out to do, but the physical stress of not being physically fit enough for the task at hand is causing a lot of the other stress emotionally and psychologically, right? So a Proverbs 31 woman takes care of her body physically. That don't mean she runs marathons, but that means she does pay attention to when she needs her checkups. She does pay attention to making sure she's exercising 3-4 times a week. That does mean that she is conscious of making sure that she eats the right foods that will be in harmony with her body and things of that nature, right? Proverbs 31, woman takes care of her body. That is number 7. Number 8, she burns the midnight oil. She burns the midnight oil. Now, wait a minute, H Cortez, you said at number 4, she rises early. And she burns the midnight oil? Yeah. Read it for yourself. She puts her family to bed and her lamp does not go out. That means when she does everything that she does, she satisfies the children, the husband, the house is in order, she still finds time to work her business. She still finds time to prepare for her job in the wee hours of the morning. Ladies, are you burning the midnight oil and getting up early? I know some ladies ain't doing either one of them. They sleep till 9 and then they in bed by 9 p.m. They sleep till 9 a.m. and then they in bed by 9 p.m. It's called sacrifice, ladies. Proverbs 31 woman knows all about sacrifice, so she burns the midnight oil. Proverbs 31 woman burns the midnight oil. Number 9, she has a heart for the poor. She has a heart for the poor and the needy. And this is something that we have to understand as men. Sometimes my wife has a heart for the poor, and she's always taking my hard-earned money and blessing somebody else with it. But what I had to learn is that is the very reason that we're so blessed. What I had to learn is that is the very reason that we are so blessed. So, fellas, if you have a woman that is a Proverbs 31 woman and she's got a heart for the poor and she always want to donate, she always want to give, she always want to volunteer, don't hinder her in that. That is actually an attribute of a Proverbs 31 woman. And that's how she creates blessings for your household, is through her heart for the poor, her heart for the needy, through her giving. Right? Number 10. It says she is prepared for winter. In other words, she takes off the top when she has plenty and she prepares for bad times. It literally says that she can laugh at her future, meaning that she's straight because she knows she's put things in order today, that no matter what happens down the road, it's all good. It's all good. And what that does, ladies, is when you prepare for your future like that, then it gets you out of that perpetual state of worry. Right? When you are prepared for your future, you can live today. If you're in a perpetual state of worry, it's hard to live and experience life to the full because you're always worried about what you're not going to have tomorrow. But when you can prepare for your tomorrow, you can laugh at your future because you know that, hey, I'm straight. I'm straight. I've got things prepared. I've got things put away. Right? If you think about those women who, in days of old, my great grandmother canned everything, right? And you have all these jars of stuff just all over the place, and there's dust all on them, and all of that, right? But that's good food. If something happens, a tornado comes and knocks a tree down in the driveway, we can't get the car out, and all that kind of stuff. We have a year's worth of food stored up, right? We're talking about a Proverbs 31 woman is prepared. Is prepared. What are you doing today to prepare for your tomorrow? Right? Number 11, she's clothed with strength and dignity. She's clothed with strength and dignity. My wife is one of the most graceful women I have ever met. My wife is one of the most graceful women I've ever met. And I tell you, women, ladies, if you're watching, there's nothing more sexy to a man, at least this man, than a woman that wears strength and dignity well. Nothing turns me on more than a woman who wears her self-confidence well and knows how to walk with her head held high and her chest poked out. Right? She's clothed with strength and dignity. There's a certain amount of grace that she walks and that she moves with. My wife don't even walk. She floats everywhere she goes. At least that's what I see when I see her coming. I don't see her walking. I just see her floating and gliding by in all of her grace, right? Do you have strength and dignity, and how do you wear it? Do you wear it well, right? Do you wear it well? Number 12, she's never idle. She's never idle, right? Idle mind is a devil's workshop. So again, it talked about her being an entrepreneur in more than one place. Then it talks about her being hardworking in more than one place. She works with her hands. She burns the midnight oil. She gets up early. She's never idle. Never idle, right? I know women in my life personally that sit around and watch soap operas 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. Somebody please explain to me how watching that much soap operas is going to help in any capacity. Right? I get watching TV and escaping your reality for a moment or two, right? But watching 8 hours of soap operas, right? Starts with the morning show. It starts with the late morning show. Then it starts with the game shows. And then after the game shows go off, then the soap operas come on in the afternoon. And it starts with the soap operas in the afternoon. You watch the soap operas in the afternoon. And after the soap operas, then your judge shows come on, your divorce courts and your Judge Judy's, and then your talk shows, your Maury's, your Oprah's. And I'm like, man, how could that be productive in any way whatsoever? So it talks about the Proverbs 31 woman is never idle, right? She's constantly doing her thing. She rises early to provide, and then she goes out and works and runs her business, and then she comes home and she tends to the family needs, and then after the family needs are tended to, she burns the midnight oil and puts in a few more hours of work before she goes to bed. And then she's up early again the next day. We're talking about a Proverbs 31 woman, so you can attract and or keep an Ephesians 5 man, right? Number 13, she is praised by her husband and children. Now, if you want to know if you are a Proverbs 31 woman, and you have a husband and children, are they constantly giving you praise? Are they constantly giving you praise? This is an indication of how well are you doing at becoming a Proverbs 31 woman. Now, I will say this. If you have come to a Proverbs 31 woman later in your season in your marriage and you were not that early on, you could very well be there, but because you came on into it late, a Proverbs 31 woman has a heart for the needy. She's a giver, and she has the right attitude of gratitude. So she teaches that to her children, so their children and her husband will know how to honor and praise her because of all that she does. Now, I will admit readily that sometimes I don't praise my wife, and sometimes I have to choke my sons out to get them to praise her, but she is definitely worthy to be praised for all that she does to make and keep this household running the way it's running. I couldn't do half the things that I do in my business if it wasn't for her taking care of everything else. So she definitely is worthy of praise and adoration from the children and as well as myself. Right. Number 14, she surpasses noble things. Right. It says that a Proverbs 30, it says in Proverbs 31, it says, many women do noble things, but she surpasses them all. And this is one that I want you to get. It says, many women do noble things, but she surpasses them all. Wait a minute. How can, if somebody is doing noble things, how can somebody else surpass them if they're doing noble things? You know how you can surpass somebody who's doing noble things? Think about when Christ washed the feet of his servants. He washed the feet of the disciples. See, we know of Christ's nobility, does noble things. But then he surpasses those others who were doing noble things by doing things that weren't so noble, weren't so glamorous. He washed the feet of his disciples. So the Proverbs 31 woman, yes, she has class, she has she's clothed in dignity and strength, and she does noble things. But you know what? She ain't got no problem getting in the yard cutting the grass. You know what? She ain't got no problem walking the streets feeding the homeless. See, a Proverbs 31 woman, although she sits high, she never looks low. In other words, she is of nobility, but she never looks down on anybody. Instead of looking down on anybody, she gets down from her high seat and get ground level with the people, and she's willing to mix it up with the people. That's how you can surpass the others who only do noble things. The Proverbs 31 woman will do the noble things and do the ground level things too. It's a Proverbs 31 woman. Right? Proverbs 31 woman. She says many women do noble things, but she surpasses them all because she does the noble things and she will get her hands dirty at the same time. Right? Number 15. She fears the Lord. She fears the Lord. Number 15. She fears the Lord. She has an honor and a particular reverence for the Creator. And because of that honor and that reverence and that fear, she moves in a certain way. Right? She fears the Lord. And then last but not least, number 16, it literally says this. It doesn't say it in this way, but this is the interpretation. She lets her actions do the talking. She lets her actions do the talking. We go read Proverbs 31 in the last verse, Proverbs 31. She lets her actions do the talking. So when I read that, I'm like, whoa. And this is why I pay attention to what my wife does, because her actions are doing the talking. Her actions, all you women, ladies, are you letting your actions do the talking? Or do you spend a lot of time nagging? Really quick, I'm gonna run over the 16, and then I'm going to give you 3 steps to becoming this. 3 things that you should be doing to become this, ladies. I know you're all working on it, but I'm gonna give you 3 steps that can help you, right? Number 1, she knows her worth. It literally says she's worth more than rubies. Number 2, she brings good and not harm, meaning she has a right attitude wherever she goes, right? She doesn't bring a negative attitude. Number 3, she works with her hands. Yes, she works, right? Number 4, she rises early and provides for her family before she gets her day going. Number 5, she is an entrepreneur. It says in about 3 different ways that she's an entrepreneur. Number 6, she's diligent and hardworking. Again, it talks about she works with her hand, then it says she's diligent and hardworking. Number 7, it literally says her arms are strong for her task, meaning she's fit for her task, meaning she takes care of her body. Number 8, she burns the midnight oil. Wait a minute, she's hardworking, she gets up early, she works with her hand. She's an entrepreneur and she burns the midnight oil. Number 9, she has a heart for the poor and the needy. Number 10, she is prepared for winter. It literally says she can laugh at her future. That means she doesn't have any anxiety or anything to worry about because she's made preparations for her future. Number 11, she's clothed with strength and dignity. She's graceful. Number 12, she's not idle. She don't sit around gossiping all day. She don't sit around watching the housewives all day. She's busy about her task. Number 13, she is praised by her husband and children. Number 14, many women do noble things. She surpasses them all. That means she's never too good to get her hands dirty. She's never too high or too haughty to mingle with common folks, even though she knows her worth. Number 15, she has the utmost fear of the Lord. And number 16, she let her actions do the talking. 3 things, ladies, you can do to become a Proverbs 31 woman. Number 1, make that your intention. Make that your intention. Set out to become this first and foremost. Make this your focus because you get what you focus on. Make this your focus. Focus on becoming a Proverbs 31 woman. Set this as your intention. You get what you focus on. That's number 1. Number 2, study the attributes of a Proverbs 31 woman. Right? I have to start reading this every day. Proverbs 31 woman. Because as an Ephesians 5 man, one of the things that Ephesians 5 man does is he affirms his woman's beauty. He affirms his woman's beauty. And if my wife are doing these things to become an Ephesians 31 Proverbs 31 woman, I need to be able to recognize and affirm and help her to reveal her beauty and becoming a Proverbs 31 woman. So you have to be intentional about becoming a Proverbs 31 woman. And number 2, you have to study the attributes of a Proverbs 31 woman. Read it for yourself and get what it is that a Proverbs 31 is really all about. Get that in you, and you start making that a part of who you are. And number 3, start associating with Proverbs 31 women. Associate with Proverbs 31 women. And this could be a in-person association, or it can be a virtual association. Right? And then understand this about your association. Don't be judgmental. Don't be judgmental. I know some Ephesians 5 men who are Ephesians 5 men in business and in business only. And their personal relationships, their relationships with their kids, I wouldn't think about looking at them in that way. But in business, they are Ephesians 5 men. I know some other men who are Ephesians 5 men in their relationships with their wife, with their kids, but I wouldn't take an ounce of business advice from them. So ladies, do the same thing. As you are associating with Proverbs 31 women, understand that you could be a Proverbs 31 woman in certain areas of your life and maybe not in all. So don't judge a woman who's a Proverb 31 woman with her husband and her kids, but may not be the best of friends. She may not be a Proverbs 31 woman in her friendships. She may not be a Proverbs 31 woman in her business. She may not be a Proverbs 31 woman in certain areas of her life. But if she is in her homemaking and with her husband and her kids, then you can associate with her so you can learn how to do that in that area of your life. You may have a Proverbs 31 woman in business that you aspire to be like, then you start associating with her. And that woman may not be the Proverbs 31 woman in her personal life, right? But in our business life, there's something that you can glean from that, right? And then you start putting this thing together so that you can become a holistic Proverbs 31 woman. You can become that holistic Proverbs 31 woman. And if you are single and you're waiting on God to bring the perfect man into your life, I guarantee you become a Proverbs 31 woman, you will, with a capital W, capital I, capital L, you will attract an Ephesians 5 man. But you will also attract other types of men. So you need to learn what an Ephesians 5 man is so that through all of the men that you attract, you can properly identify the Ephesians 5 man that is going to be right for you. And if you are already married, and you feel that you have an Ephesians 5 man and you want to keep him, you better become a Proverbs 31 woman real quick. That's the only thing that can keep an Ephesians 5 man. Right? And if you are married and your man is not an Ephesians 5 man, becoming a Proverbs 31 woman can actually help inspire him to become an Ephesians 5 man for you. I promise you. See, I say all the time that a woman can never change a man. Never. If you're trying to change a man, get that out of your head right now, women. A woman can never change a man, but a woman is oftentimes the only thing that can inspire a man to change himself. Let me run that back. A woman can never, ever change a man. However, she is only one of maybe 2 or 3 things on this entire planet that can inspire a man to change himself. Ask me how I know. This guy right here wasn't this guy right here until that lady back there entered the picture. I'm telling you, this dude right here was not this dude until that lady came into the picture. And you heard Steve Harvey say this, and I'm gonna get out of here because I've got to go. But you've heard Steve Harvey say this and think like a man. One of the things that got me to this place right here was the fact that she had standards. She said, hey, we're gonna date because I need to get to know you and you need to get to know me. But I don't date forever. Ladies, do you have standards? She said, we're going to date so we can get to know one another. Because I know who you were in high school, and I want to see if you've matured since then. So we're going to date. But brother, man, I don't date forever. Like, what? Huh? Who do she think she is? She is who I thought she was, the one, right? So I had to make a decision. Yeah, I had to make a decision, right? And thank God I made the right one. That has changed my life forever. We brought 3 beautiful children into the world. She already had 2 from her previous marriage. I helped to raise those boys, and now, we are in our happily ever after, right? And when I talked about Ephesians 5, man, yesterday I talked about the fact that as you ladies, Sandra said a 90-day. It's really not a 90-day, Sandra. You really want to get to know the person, but sometimes 90 days is not enough. You have to be with a person long enough to see them in 3 critical life states. You have to see them in an extreme joyous situation. You have to see how they respond to extreme sadness, and you have to see how they respond to extreme anger and pain. And sometimes, especially playboys, they're really good at keeping that facade face on for 90 to 180 days. But you have to be around them when they have an extreme amount of sadness in their life so you can see how they respond. Do they go into a 6-month depression? Because that might not be something you want to marry, right? When they are extremely angry, have you seen them when they're really frustrated? They start punching holes in walls. That might not be something you want to marry, right? When they are overjoyed, do they go too far off the deep end when they have something really happy happen in their lives, right? I get super joy and I go spend my whole paycheck, right? You got to know this type of stuff. So yes, 90 days is kind of the benchmark, but really you're trying to see them live through certain things so you know how they respond and you can anticipate, okay, so if we're together and I witnessed him lose a friend and I saw how he dealt with that, and he had some pretty normal responses, right? So that means that we're together and he have another major loss in his life, I can anticipate that he would probably respond in a similar fashion. If we're together and he got really upset and he started punching holes in walls, that says he can't control that temperament, and I might not be. Don't rationalize and say, well, yeah, he punched holes in the walls that's how he controls it so he don't put his hands on me. No, that ain't control at all. All right, guys, that's enough. I'm sorry, all of the issues we had with the technology, man. What can I say? So I'll call in a day, man, and maybe I have to buy a better service or something, man. Maybe I have to, have them put a tower in my backyard or something so that I can get my service and keep my service. But appreciate you guys for hanging in there with me. Tomorrow we'll recap this week's shows as we normally do. But really quickly, the announcement is this. If you are a business owner and you're trying to grow your brand, then register for tomorrow's webinar. Click on the link or go to freewebinar.financialhealthmentor.com. Grow your brand. I'm going to show you how I use 3 free tools to grow your brand and get more traffic, leads, and sales, whether you're in a network marketing business, affiliate marketing, whatever kind of business you have, and you're trying to get your brand out there. You're trying to get more traffic into your space so you can get more leads and sales. I use 3 free tools to get that done. And I will show you, give you a sneak peek behind the curtains on how I do all of that stuff. And maybe it will help you take your brand to the next level. So go get yourself registered. And of course, Black Wealth Movement is always my thing. So you can inbox me if you want to learn more about that. So I'm your man, H Cortez, the one and only financial health mentor to the Black community. Until I talk to you guys tomorrow, I want you to get your money up because you absolutely can do it. Peace out, y'all.